Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hello, everybody joining.
Hi, I'm just adding people as they come in. We'll get started in a few minutes.
I'm a fly on the wall. I know, Guy Robin.
Hi, Virginia.
Good afternoon.
I'm gonna mute because I'm prepping for tomorrow's meeting at the same time, so I'm multitasking.
Okay, thanks for being here.
But
Hi, Della. Glad you could make it. Hello. Um,
Hi, how are you?
Good. Thank you, everyone, for signing on. I know we scheduled this late on Friday, and I'm so glad you're able to make it. I feel like I've added a couple people that I can't see. Um, well, I see that Trina's here, just with her camera off, but I thought I saw Isla. Is Isla here? Wonder-
Not on video for me yet.
Okay. Oh, oh, I see. Okay, I think I need to add her again. Something happened. Okay.
Yes, sorry, I didn't accept your invite quickly enough and then it went
Oh,
away.
okay. That's all right. It's I don't do this that often, so I'm always wondering what's happening.
So it sounds like Katrina's here and so she's going to run the meeting, is that correct?
Yeah, Trina, are you able or would you like Isla to facilitate? Either way is fine with me.
Fine with me as well.
Yes, sorry. About not being on screen for so long.
Oh, it's okay.
My 2-year-old is being persistent. So he may run into the video today. Uh, hopefully not.
Well, I think we can go ahead and get started. We actually have a quorum, so yeah. So Trina, do you want to call the meeting to order and then we'll start with some of the slides?
Right. Yes. And so let's call to order the Parent Advisory Committee meeting for the distribution of donations for staffing. This is our June 8th meeting at 5.
Great, thank you. All right. So we have a short agenda for today. We're hoping to end by 5:30. I know a couple people need to leave right at that time, so I think we'll just jump right in. I'm going to introduce Nick.
Thank you, Robin. Good, I guess it's evening at this point for after 5 o'clock. So good evening again, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking time for this very important recommendation that needs to move through ahead of the Board of Education meeting. So as a reminder, I am Nick Rudnicki. I'm our interim executive director for the Fund for Portland Public Schools. And tonight we're going to talk about the recommendation the PAC wants to bring to the Board of Education related to the $152,000 available in the Champion PPS Schools Fund for the PAC to recommend allocating. Let's see, next slide, Robin. And thank you for driving. So, did we jump? Or is this the one we wanted to look at? So we're starting here just as the quick overview. We had 4 scenarios to bring to the PAC, and at our last PAC meeting, scenario C and scenario D bubbled up as the scenarios that were of most interest, mostly because of conversation that revolved around higher allocations to high impact tutoring. Both scenario and C and D include the highest options for investment in high impact tutoring at $144,000 and $134,000. And then also because the PAC had a lot of interest in making sure that we were continuing investment in food pantries. Scenario C included $8,000 for food pantries, while scenario D included $18,000 for food pantries. And does our next slide, Robin, talk about the combination effort? So this is still the overviews.
Yeah, do you want me to skip ahead?
Yeah, let's
Okay.
we can double back if anybody needs us to, but
Yeah.
I want to talk about what the fund board talked about the other night. So
Okay, hang
oh,
on a second.
we put them at the front of the deck. That's what it was.
Okay, let me go.
As Robin goes back, thank you, Robin. I'll tee up the quick explanation
Here we go. Okay.
of what we're going to look at here. So on June 4th, the Fund for PPS Board of Directors voted. This vote was because of the discussion we had at the last PAC meeting. So there was a lot of interest given a couple of slides in this deck that talk through each of these funding mechanisms. There's a lot of interest from the PAC on making sure that we invested in high impact tutoring, but also how could we be flexible around supporting food pantries? Because the food pantry team or the community team at the district said that $18,000 would allow a full continuation of current service levels from this school year through next school year. We proposed, or I proposed to ZD, and I had this conversation with Robin, that the Fund for PPS board talk about an allocation from their emergency funding pool. So that's outside of the PAC's funding pool. So we talked about allocating some money from an emergency funding pool for the PAC to be able to use as a part of this recommendation process. So now I'm just going to read what's on this slide here. On June 4th, 2026, the Fund for PPS Board of Directors voted to approve an additional $10,000 for PPS food pantries from donations under their discretion. So that's the funds board's money to talk about. So what this does is this enables the PAC to fund the full request for funding for high impact tutoring for 7 schools, plus $8,000 for food pantries in scenario D. And this allows us to add $10,000 from the Fund for PPS for food pantries so that PPS would now be able to support 9 PPS schools proposed in scenario D. So what this does is it combines scenario C and D. That, from a dollar perspective, means that there would be, for the PAC to recommend, if you so choose, there would be $144,000 to recommend for high impact tutoring, and there would be $8,000 to recommend for food pantries. The Fund for PPS board would then add $10,000 to that $8,000 so that it would become $18,000 for a full continuation of food pantry support for this coming school year. Yes, Virginia.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think on the screen, you can't quite see the full final PAC recommendation. If you scroll up a little bit, just so our PAC, there we go. Is it showing the?
Yes, so we'd be combining C and D here. We'd be the
Right.
144,000 hit investment, and then you would be voting on $8,000 or recommending the $8,000 from your discretionary funds, and then the Fund for PPS's board would add $10,000 to that food pantry to level it from $8,000 to $18,000. Yes, Kelly.
And how does the 10,000 for the food pantry, how do we know that that's happening?
So the funds board voted to allocate that. So that's
already done deal.
If you so choose to opt for the combination of scenario C and D, then that money will be released to the district.
Okay.
If you choose to go another path, then the funds board would have to vote on a different path if they wanted to.
Thank you.
Yeah. Always good to confirm these things. Thank you for asking. So I moved quickly through this because we did schedule this for a half hour, and last week the PAC did talk through a number of elements to why they would want to make a decision like this. I'd love to open the floor for discussion or comment at this point. Kelly? Or was your hand still raised? I don't remember. Oh, you're just waving now. So then I would ask, I'm not asking for the recommendation quite yet, but I would ask, is there anyone who takes umbrage with this approach, given the discussion we previously had, what the funds board is willing to add to your allocated funds if you choose to go in this direction? Is there anyone that takes issue? I think silence speaks volume. We have a lot of impact we can create with this money if you want to recommend in this path. Robin, is the next step to call for Trina to call for a recommendation? How do you want to work through that next step?
Yes, that if there's no further discussion, we could turn it over to Trina to get a vote started if somebody wants to motion and then we vote. That's typically the process.
Yeah, so I think that this plan is great, and I appreciate you guys coming together. I apologize that I could not make it last week. Um, I think that all of the recommendations make sense. I was still curious about the IXL questions I had from before, but as far as us voting on this, I think that this is the best allocation for um, what we have. Um, and maybe it's a conversation we can have offline. It doesn't necessarily have to be in this meeting. Um, so we'll take a vote on option C, which is a high impact tutoring investment of 144K and a food pantries investment of 8K. Everyone that is in favor or this sorry. I want to ask if anyone is in favor, vote yes. Let's just go ahead and that's it.
Just for the sake, so thank you, Trina. And I just want to say out loud, if there's any governance pieces that we need to double check, if you could call for a motion and then if someone could second it, just so we keep that above board, and then we'll take the vote,
you.
just in case.
So let's call for a motion. Thank you.
I move to approve the resolution as proposed.
I second.
And thank you. Thank you for that, Nick.
Okay, I think you get to call for all in favor now, Trina.
All in favor now.
Aye.
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 And then for due diligence, go ahead and call for any nays or abstentions.
It looks like we had a majority, but let's go ahead and call for nays or abstentions.
Sounds like you had an easy vote there, Trina.
Yeah, it was very easy. You guys did wonderful work in putting this proposal together.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you, PAC, for doing this work alongside us. I want to say three things with this obviously passing. Now, first of all, I want to say thank you to the PAC. It's been an abnormal year for the Fund for PPS through their transition and our conversations. And I'm grateful that we do have some money to allocate to student support for this coming year. I think these are both worthy paths forward for these dollars. There's a lot of ways we can create impact for these students, and I'm grateful that you're a part of this process so that we can do something with the money we have. We're going to have a lot more money in the coming year, and that's going to feel a lot more exciting to support student success. But for where we are right now, thank you for your part in this process as it stands. And then I also want to call out a thank you to Robin as she steps away from her role in PPS in the coming weeks. So Robin will no longer be a part of the PPS team. And I want to thank her for ferrying this process through and being an integral part of the team on the PPS side so that we can get this important work done. It doesn't, hopefully for the rest of you, it doesn't go unnoticed. It certainly doesn't for me, for how hard she's worked on making sure we're supporting positive student outcomes. So thank you very much, Robin, for your work.
I had no idea, Robin. We'll miss you. Thank you for all of your hard work.
Thank you.
Thank you for all you've done.
And then Kelly, do you You're waving, question, comment?
I did have a question. I know everyone's probably ready to jump off, but just in light of previous conversations that we've had, I wonder if there's time and or space to talk about the ways that PAC could help raise awareness and trust, really, right, for the district-wide foundation. Because those conversations kept coming up as we've been meeting. And it could be over the summer, maybe PAC members participate in a video that we share with the district where, that we talk about how the foundation supported A, B, and C. It's one idea, but is there any plan to do that, or could we spend time doing that?
We certainly can outside of these public meetings. Glad to have those conversations, and we're also convening in a slightly different way our school liaison committee. We've had that first meeting. We have a second one coming up. We can have, I think I would offer a one-on-one conversation, and then maybe this group can morph into that group for a conversation. The governance will update given Robin stepping away from the district. So there'll be a little bit of an evolution to this process for the coming school year. And let's have a conversation about all the things you just said. Welcomed.
Yeah, I wanted to second that too. I've just heard comments, and I feel like I have to be like an intermediary. And I do think we need to do some work on people feeling positive, who feel like they've maybe lost out in this transition. And so I think we need to do some work around that. I'm not in agreement. I've always been pro the fund, but I do think that there's some public relations work that we need to do to get schools and parents on board, and to field some of that like tension that I think maybe some of us, I don't know if all of us have, I've encountered it definitely within some of like my communities in terms of people's responses and feeling like I'm the representative of it. And so I think we need to, it's definitely, I think, an important thing that we need to work on. So I second what Kelly said.
That is well received on behalf of the funds board and myself as our interim ED. Yes, would love to have these conversations. Any other thoughts as a part of this process? I'll work with Robin on the internal logistics of releasing the funds and making sure that the district teams are made aware of these decisions. Obviously, that will come after the Board of Education accepts this recommendation. I would imagine they would through this process. We'll follow up with everybody just so you know that this process has come to a final delivery. But is there anything else to add here? Otherwise, we've moved swiftly through our meeting today. Okay, I'm good with awkward silence, but I'm going to take that as a positivity for the process we just worked through. So again, Trina, thank you for leading us through the meeting today and this vote. Thank you, Isla, for leading us through our previous meetings, getting things kicked off for us, for Virginia, for joining us on behalf of the board today, and for everybody else for your time. Again, we're going to create a lot of good for students in PPS. This might look a little different in due time, just because of the way we can evolve and have more dollars to distribute to students. And I look forward to the conversations that everybody has proposed. I will make sure I reach out to everyone so we can start getting those things set up. Robin, is there anything you need from us to close this meeting out today?
No, I think we're good.
Okay, so thank you, everybody. Our job is done here tonight. Okay. Be well.
Thank you. And good luck, Robin. I hope wherever life takes you, things are great.
Thank you.